some of my biggest successes in the world have been when I just took all the bullshit out, all that playbook, all of that scheme and schematics and all that stuff, and just went back to fourth grade Brandon that started playing football just because I wanted to make my granddad happy and I just wanted to hit some people. Like, just start being that dude. And I think it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in life.
Pull up in the drive light. I didn't miss my with Fago. Stack my money up like Legos.
What's up, world? It's your boy Brandon Copeland, aka Professor Copeland. I'm here with my dog. Ooh, what we rocking today, Ross Mack?
Oh man,
Tell me what we rocking today.
Alabama A&M, man. Shout out my sister. She went there, HBCU down in Huntsville, Alabama. I don't really rock with Alabama. It was we had a real experience down there, boy.
Alabama.
That thing was real, my boy. So we went to my sister's graduation, and I remember my dad had rented a whip, and we all drove down. You feel me? And me and my brother went out. You know what I'm saying? We trying to hit the town, see what's shaking in this little town. It's a college town, you know what I'm saying? Boy, we must have did something, and the police pulled us over.
He was black.
Boys say, oh yeah, we black in Alabama for sure. We say,
black, that's what you did.
You know, say, hey, you know what I'm saying? That boy say, he pulled us over. They, license registration. Sir, my dad rented the car. My brother, he older than me, so he was doing the talking. My brother was tweaking. He must have did something illegal, U-turn or some nutty. But nonetheless, the cop was like, oh, this car's not registered to you? We're impounding it. I'm talking about fully. This my dad. Woo. We just came from Chicago. Folks said he put an accent. It's a white officer. You're in Alabama, boy. We knew at that moment to shut up.
With the boy?
When he threw the boy, I
put
swear,
a boy on there?
You're in Alabama now, boy. I say, because we from Chicago, officer. We woo. Over with, shorty.
Man, question for you too. When the officer pulled you over, did you put on a different voice? Did you put on the
I always got an officer
voice?
I ain't gonna hold you. I got a different type of voice. Cause it's like, I wish we ain't have to, right? If you driving while white, you can have that same energy. What the f you stopping me for? Ain't it gonna happen, but you black boys. I'm 10-2. Is there a problem, officer? Hey, officer, I was just sorry about that. Officer, I was watching a TikTok. Officer, is it all right if I go down and get my license? Yeah, my registration in the glove box, and is it all right if I get that? Just, I'm recording for my own safety, officer. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah. Motherfucker got to talk to them a little different. It is what it is. And you a little bigger, so you a threat. So I know you got to talk way different.
Yeah, nah, you can't. Look, the thing is, I'm so competitive, bro. I be mad as hell, especially when you know it's wrong, right? Like, so when we grew up, right, we had moms moved us out, and we ended up being in a predominantly white neighborhood. And I'm just saying, not predominantly, white neighborhood. And literally, when we were by the time I was in college, by the time we graduated college, I think I've been pulled over 9 times, 8 of which were within a mile of my house.
Wow. And
it was all that bullshit, right? Like all that, your windows are tinted.
Wow.
No, they not. I ain't got no fucking tints. What you talking about, right? Like I ain't get my car tinted.
You didn't put a turning signal on.
My 3rd year in the league. Yeah. Oh, you stopped a little bit beyond the stop sign. You stopped, but you stopped a little bit beyond. So I was just checking on you. Yeah, officer, my house is right there, like right there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. You can go. You know what I'm saying?
All right, real quick, man. If you enjoying the show, make sure you follow and subscribe Money Music Culture on all platforms.
And so that also as well too, like adds just a little insult and a little, fuel to the flame when those types of things happen, because it's like, this is my home. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where, my mama paid for us to be here. You know what I'm saying? And you making me feel like a stranger in my own home. Like, you got me. Yeah. So anyway, brother, I'm sorry. Our world is like that. But hey, like you said, you got to lead these. I will say this, because I say it at my football camp too, because I know there's some people in the world like, man, be you, yada, yada. My job is to get home alive.
Oh, bro.
My grandfather used to always say that.
Job is to get home alive to my kids and my wife.
Say no more. So you can be, You could be right, and you can be demonstrative in how you do it, and it sucks and it's not the way it should be. However, the most important job at the end of the day is to get home to your family, right?
Because everybody code switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, code switching is an art, but like, if you gonna code switch at your job, why the wouldn't you code switch when your life on the line?
Yeah. So see, I literally have worked my entire life to not have to code switch.
You a motherfucker.
I had
seen
to,
you on CNBC.
to not have to
I
code
seen you on
switch.
CNBC
Bruh,
without a haircut. I know you code switch, boy.
without a haircut. That's how you know I ain't code switching. But I think that's the difference though, right? Like it's like at a certain point, it's like some people think it might be code switching, but it's like at a certain point, it's like I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like this is who I am. Like not necessarily changing up the voice. Like when I think of code switching, I think of like them people who like literally like they talking to you 1 second, like the Mike Epps joint. Like married men are totally different around they wives, right? Like, you know, they talking one way, you know, around their boys, then they get in front and they, hey, how's it going? How's it going, sir? You know what I'm saying?
Survival, bro.
Now, yes, it is. It is definitely survival. And I think that, you know, the goal for me personally, and that's just me personally, the goal for me personally is and has been to be myself and to be able to just be 100% free in that regard, because now I can say it hasn't always been like that, but now to me it is like that.
Yeah.
And it's not because I've just amassed this crazy fortune and I'm Elon Musk and net worth. It's just more of like I got the things that I need and I have invested in the things, and I'm continually to invest in the things that'll pay me. So it's like, you knock on wood, but like you can't cancel me. Like I don't give a because what you were doing ain't paying my bills.
Facts.
Right? Like you can't like, I don't necessarily like, I got buddies and stuff who is funny because they're in like football. You know, football takes, it's beautiful to see because all the circle around me is like continuing to elevate and grow, which is amazing. It's beautiful to see. And their growth, especially in the business world, is at a point where it's like, yo, like we got to do this event, I got to network, I got to meet this person, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that, blah, blah. Where for me, I'm like, I'm on the back end of that. And not because I'm big-headed or anything like that. I still want to meet people, still want to have great experiences, but it was like, that's what I spent my 20s doing, my early 20s doing. That's why I was the NFL player who in the offseason would go out and do this, and this, and never break and never grind. So now I'm at a point, and it's funny because sometimes I feel like in their mind, it probably be like, man, this nigga, he don't never want to go nowhere. He think he don't need to network with nobody. No, it's not that. It's just like, I'm tired of that.
Time is money.
Like, I done that.
Because you put in, like, at the end of the day, and I got a lot of questions about the NFL, right? But, like, time is money, right? And so for you, you put in that time that afforded you the luxury to now, you know, do the FaceTime, network, et cetera, to get to where you are. You're a veteran, right? This is your 9th or 10th season.
It's going into
10,
10.
because I was trying to do the math.
10.
Graduate 2013, but the season is 2012. So it'd be season 22, 2023. Like, that's how it go, right? All right, so yeah, so 10. Yep. So, like, at the end of the day, bro, like, you brought us to a good point. Like, how is your mindset different from when you first got in the league as a, you know, a rookie versus now as a vet?
Man, totally different. I think first and foremost, difference is like my priorities are different because my life is different. I came into the league as a young man who had no kids, no wife, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the time I had a girlfriend, but again, a girlfriend versus 2 kids and a wife is a totally different set of responsibilities. You know, didn't have a home, didn't have cars and all of that type of stuff, right? Didn't have really bills outside of what I needed to do to play football, you know? So the mindset was different in regards to off the field, because it was it was a little more, I guess, it was a lot less riding on my success.
I get that.
I should say, you know. I won't say it was less pressure at all because it was a different type of pressure as a rookie, in the early on in the career. But it was just a lot. Like it wasn't a young boy with your last name looking up to you, see how you gonna respond in this moment. You know what I'm saying? So that was different on the field. The mindset was totally different as well too. Like now, I walk on the field and you can't f with me. I know people listen to this podcast. Boy, you ain't Khalil Mack. You ain't f with me. I don't. You don't work. You can't outwork me. You ain't more of a dog than me. I don't care who you are. And it's
hard.
just if we had to do 1-on-1, I don't give a f. I'm not even if it's a defensive player, if it's a defensive player, if we have to do 1-on-1 in this competition, I'm winning. It doesn't matter. I don't have the marketing and all that type of stuff around me. I don't have the, make a tackle, get a sack and go crazy and cheer for myself and all that stuff. That's just not me. And that's also probably hurt me in my career. However, mentally, you can't f with me. So that's good, right? Rookie year, it was fragile. Wasn't that I was soft or anything like that. I was switching different positions. I played one position my entire life with my hand in the ground. And then I got to the Baltimore Ravens my rookie year, and they moved me to Mike linebacker the year after Ray Lewis retired. And I'm up, and I'm calling the defense, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I literally had no idea. Like, when I say this, I mean it. Like, some people joke about this. I legitimately mean I had no idea what I was doing or where I was supposed to go, right? My saving grace was I play football. I know how to play football. So if you tell me, if you hike that ball and the ball is in your hands, go get it, right? And that's what kept me around. But when it came to like, oh, you got hook curl on this, or oh man, you got number 2 up the seam, or you got 3 receiver hook, right? Like it might sound like Spanish to you. My rookie year, I'm sitting in the Baltimore Ravens locker room like, what the is this? I've been going forward my whole life. What the is 3 receiver hook? Who the fire zone coverage?
All right, so for the you throwing some stuff out there. So let's slow it down, right? Because as a person that paid their whole life, when the ball hikes, your first thing, because your hand in the ground, you defensive end, you a lineman, ball hike, you only go in one direction, towards the quarterback, right? Then you say, culture shock, you come in, you trying to fill Ray Lewis shoes, and them motherfuckers is big. You got Terrell Suggs probably, come on, Rook, get your shit together. He was probably hazing you. Lord knows the type of hazing stories you got. But the first thing you do as a linebacker, when the ball is hiked, you backpedal, right?
Well, technically, no. So I want to make sure, because all my football junkies out there. First, you're supposed to take a read step. You got to make sure it's run. You got to clear the run first.
Okay.
First thing, you got to make sure it's not run, right? That's the first thing. So you make sure it's not run first, right? And then once you do that, then you have a coverage responsibility typically, unless you're blitzing. And if you're blitzing, that means you're going after you running through the line of scrimmage and trying to penetrate and trying to either wreak havoc in the backfield or sack the quarterback or hit the running back in the backfield for a loss, right? My issue was all of the passing coverage things, which for those who don't know, pass coverage, that's when you drop in back while other people are running routes. You got your Odell Beckhams, your Juice Landrys of the world, your Brandon Marshalls of the world running routes. You trying to prevent them from catching the rock, right? I had no idea what I was doing. So like literally when they would say hook curl cover 3, I would literally be sitting there and thinking like, okay, because on our playbook, it doesn't show you like, okay, you go here, you go here. It just tells you like 3 receiver hook, right? It's just written out because if you played this position, you should know what it means. So I would literally try to translate it in my head to like Madden. I'd be like, okay, cover 3. Well, like on cover 3 in Madden, like, well, that's like the little blue bubble, I think. And then, okay, cover 2, that's like the deep bubble. And so I would do that. And literally after 2 days of playing linebacker, my linebacker coach at the time, he's a D coordinator in the league now. And he came up to me and said, he's at the Giants now, Wink Martindale.
Dope.
What up, Wink? He had came up to me and he said, man, Cope, like, I'm gonna be real with you. right now, we only taking 90 guys onto our roster. That's what the NFL cutoff is. You can only have maximum of 90 guys into training camp. Right now, you're about 92 or 93 out of 90. Good kid. You work hard. You know, I see you got some athletic ability. You try hard, but you know, this middle linebacker thing, you're just not getting it. And you went to Penn. I thought you picked this thing up easy. You know, in my mind, I'm like, what the how would I pick up linebacker easy in 48 hours, just because I went to Penn, right?
Wow.
And so literally, this is during this thing called rookie minicamp, which is literally your first introduction to the team. You get drafted or go undrafted like I did. You sign a deal, and then for me, I think it was like the next weekend, Friday, we got up there. No, Thursday night we got up there. Friday we had 2 practices. Saturday we had 2 practices, and Sunday we had a half a day. So 2.5 days, and this is all the rookies, the drafted players, and all the undrafted guys, all the tryout guys. I ended up being a tryout. I thought I was a big time guy, not big time, but I thought they preferred me because they gave me $1,000 signing bonus. I thought that was a lot until other guys had to share what they were making. I was like, what the? I'm gonna call my agent. What the hell? $1,000? This motherfucker got 50. But literally that last day, so thank God he told me this before practice that Sunday. So he told me this before practice that Sunday, and I remember like it was yesterday. He was just like, you know, he's like, you know, Cope, I tell you this not to piss you off. I tell you this because I hope that regardless of whether you like me or not, one day you and I will be able to see each other. Maybe we can have a beer together, and you'll be able to say, hey, I might hate this motherfucker, but at least he shot it to me straight. Yeah. He didn't bullshit. Him telling me that, it's funny how everything happens for a reason. Him telling me that just literally put my mindset in a different place. Because at first, and that's what, you know, for me, life, that's what life is about, is perspective, right? And I'm only here because I'm fortunate to have a different perspective on it, on certain things and certain major decisions that I could have went the other way. And long story short, I went from like, man, f him, man. How the hell he gonna tell me after 48 hours I should be able to play middle linebacker? What are you talking about? People have been doing this their whole lives. But you know, it is what it is, man. I'm from Baltimore, been grown up cheering for the Baltimore Ravens. When you practice in Baltimore, you wear the last year's game jerseys because they want you to feel like the game. They want everything to be as close to the game as possible. So you wear the game jerseys and game pants at practice. It's super tight and all that stuff. A lot of other teams, you do practice jerseys loose and all that stuff, but they like, nah, we want you here to play games. We want you to feel what it's like. I'm like, damn, I got on a Baltimore Ravens game jersey with my last name on this joint. It was 48. It wasn't the best number in the world, but hey, it's mine. And I'm like, this literally, I mean, what he just told me, I'm getting cut. This might be my last time playing football ever in my life. This is 2013. I'm like, well, they playbook, all of that shit. I'm gonna just play football. You saying I can't do middle linebacker? Well, again, this literally, where else am I gonna play after this? Maybe CFL or AFL or something like that. But like NFL, this might be the end of my NFL dream. I go out there and I ball. I'm like, yeah, I'm calling the plays. Okay, yep. Blah blah blah. To Tracy. Okay, cool. Missile to Tracy. Boom, 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 boom. I'm getting people right. Getting that. I'm supposed to do this. Cool. I see the ball. Go get it. I'm going in the backfield, Ross. I'm telling you, in the backfield, TFL, getting a pick. I got a pick on the goal line. Dane Chris, I appreciate you, brother. I got to run into Dane at the Super Bowl this past year in L.A., man. And I don't think I told him this, but he threw a pick to me, and that shit might have kept your boy's career alive. You know what I'm saying? Right in the goal line, right in the red zone, man. And but literally, I just like, It was a major life lesson because.
So it was like a tip ball? You called it an instant touchdown?
Nah, it wasn't a tip. It was me.
Athletic. Oh, yo, JJ Watt.
Going, bro.
Got past a block and
football, bro.
That's real. Just
doing
what you do.
It was just playing football. And I think that it was a major life lesson for your boy that still I have to like remind myself because it doesn't register at times, right? Like, so long story short, I left that field. I remember it was it. I literally packed up my locker. I'm like, he just told me 92 or 93. Like, he didn't say nothing to me after practice, but they were supposed to call the next day and cut me. I remember calling my agent like, yo, they gonna cut me, so let's try to find another team, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, let's not worry too yet. He didn't see practice or nothing. Let's not worry yet. Literally the next day I called my agent like, yo, did they call you? He's like, nah, they didn't call me. Like, don't trip. Like, I'll let you know if they call me. Cool. A few hours later, I remember we were actually at City Tap House because it's like senior week and stuff at Penn. So we at City Tap House on Walu, Lante, Jay Will. We all just sitting there breaking bread. It's senior week. And I'm like, I'm the guy that then went to the league, and then now I'm coming back and kind of I'm not in the league in my mind. And I'm telling my boys, but I'm like, keeping it low. And, I remember we at City Tap House, and I call him again. I'm like, yo, like, did he call? Did they call you? He's like, no. Did you want them to call me? Like, I'll call you if they call me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so finally, obviously, they didn't call. Wow. And, for me, that was the start of my NFL career, right? It's already started like, ooh, I can't trust you mugs, right? Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I think when you in life and in general, like, some of my biggest successes in the world have been when I just took all the bullshit out. Yep. Right? Took all the bullshit out, all that playbook, all of that scheme and schematics and all that stuff, and just went back to fourth grade Brandon that started playing football just because I wanted to make my granddad happy and I just wanted to hit some people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just start being that dude. And I think it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in life. Like, you can evolve yourself and grow yourself to be stronger and more strategic, but also Hillary Ash. Shout out to Hillary, man. She played volleyball at Penn. She was my year. And she sent a quote my rookie year. It was actually going in like preseason game. It might have been the third or fourth preseason game. And it was like a lot of pressure. They were making cuts throughout the training camp. So it was like, I think after this game was going to be the first round of cuts of like a 90 to 75 guys or something like that. And one of the things she sent in this quote was like, years ago, a little boy started playing football. She said little girl for her because that's her, she was a female. But years ago, a little boy started playing this sport. And before all the schemes and X's and O's and coaches and gassers and conditioning and all that stuff, this little boy just fell in love with the sport. Mm-hmm. Today, go out and just be that little boy. Facts. Go out and just play. Like, all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that
execute. That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about just executing. Because now you 10 years in. How many teams since your dream to play for the Ravens? 6 teams.
6, bro.
What has been your best and what has been your worst experience?
Oh, damn. That's
10
tough,
years
man.
in,
Best
6
experience.
teams. Best and your worst.
Yeah.
And then we want to know who is the hardest person you ever had to go up against.
Yeah, all right. So it's tough to say best and worst experience because, again, I have a crazy perspective. As a guy who was used to you wouldn't let me in the building. Just being in the building, I'm happy because the direct deposit hit, as my granddad used to say, shoot, you just want to be on a team and that direct deposit hit. You know what I'm saying? When I was with the Titans, they were in a different place. Now you got Coach Vrabel down there. He is really he balling.
Hey,
you know
one thing I'm gonna say about you, bro, is you are the luckiest unlucky person. Lucky because you are 10 years in fulfilling your dream, but unlucky because football is a game of inches, but it also can be a game of timing, right? Like timing is he got to the Baltimore Ravens the year after. Was that the year after they won a Super Bowl? Year after they win the Super Bowl, he get to the Patriots. The year after they lose Tom Brady, you play for Tennessee. The year after they actually good. Well, I'm sorry, a year or two before they actually good. So, but finish your story. I'm just you the luckiest unlucky motherfucker.
You 100% right. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I tore my pec with the Patriots in 2020 during the pandemic season, and I remember sitting home with my wife, a few weeks after surgery, and the Patriots were playing, the team that I was just with 3 weeks ago, but now I've got my pec in the sling, and I'm like, damn, they suck. Like, they're not playing well. Like, maybe it's me. I literally turned around, like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the common thread of just bullshit. I'm just bringing teams down, but I think the Titans at that time, we weren't winning, didn't have a winning culture at all either. So I'm talking like things that I was just like, bro, like I remember my first week there, and so this is let me give you a real insight to the NFL. I remember my first meeting at the Baltimore Ravens defensive meeting, right? And again, you got Haloti Nada, Suggs, you got Jameel McClain, you got Michael Huff at safety, you got all these like names. And the D coordinator comes in, Dean Pease comes in and says, listen, all you motherfuckers can play. All you motherfuckers are ballers. I'm going to let you know right now, you don't get in this room unless you a killer. Yeah, I feel you. I'm with that. Yeah, I went to Penn. And you know me, I'm coming from Penn. Oh, who's he played against? Who's this? Yeah, you right. Motherfucker, kill you too. I'm looking at motherfuckers. I wish you would. Stab you with this pencil. You know what I'm saying? But that's that mindset. Like you don't even what he said to finish that statement. What's going to separate you all is the work that you're going to put in, knowing the playbook, studying the X's and O's. Like everybody can get the job done, but like everyone can know the name of the coverage and what to do. I can get the secretary to understand that, but can I get the secretary to put on cleats and go out there and do it 100 miles per hour? He was like, I can't put on cleats anymore and go out and do it 100 miles per hour. So that's what's going to separate you all from who's going to make this team versus who won't, right? Fast forward 6-7 weeks later, I go to Tennessee. I'm practice squad, and it was my first week there. You know, it was a Wednesday. Just got signed up with them on a Tuesday. I'd flown down there on Tuesday, signed up with them Wednesday morning. I was in the meeting rooms that day. They're playing Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. And I remember just sitting there. I'm the new guy in the room. It's like you go to a new school. And I remember the coaches were doing the run game breakdown. On Wednesdays, you typically do run game breakdown because you're in pads. So you want to kind of practice those plays while you're in pads on Wednesday so the guys can rest their bodies for the rest of the week and be in just shorts and shirts. And so one of the things the coach started saying, he was like, man, this is beast mode now. It's Seattle Seahawks, the 12. Like, some of y'all might be scared. Some of y'all might be scared. Some of y'all might not make the plane. Don't be afraid out here. If you're going to be afraid, don't even come here. And I'm literally just sitting there like, and I'm like, again, I'm the new guy in the room and I'm a rookie. So you shut the hell up and you just, okay. But I'm looking at like the veteran linebackers, the veteran people, like, y'all going to let him talk like that? like me year 10 is like, nah, coach, cut that bullshit out. You stop playing.
Like, nobody's scared.
Go on, finish your playbook.
Yeah.
Finish what you got to say, but like stop playing with us. We grown men. You know what I'm saying? Like different mindset. You know what I'm saying? And so when I went to Tennessee, it was a different mindset because the coach was able to say whatever the he wanted to say, and then nobody call him out on it, right? Then I remember we would have food, and they didn't have dinner for us, bro. And I know that sounds sorry. It's gonna sound really, 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 really privileged.
Yeah, these millionaires.
The NFL is a very privileged sport.
Millionaires don't got dinner.
Bruh, the NFL is a very privileged sport, right? Like we are entertainers, we are athletes, and our bodies are our life, right? And I've been in other places where they didn't have dinner served for you, or like they didn't have the cafeteria continue to make dinner for you, which is fine. My thing in Tennessee was, which I guess, looking back on, I could have just chose not to eat it. I just wasn't as disciplined back then. But like what the coaches would do is they would buy dinner for us, which was dope, beautiful, grateful. But on Wednesdays, it was like church's chicken. So you didn't practice, you didn't work your body out, you're trying to get right, and then they got trays of just church's chicken outside the defensive meeting room. We'd all go watch film together. Okay, cool. Thursdays, it was pizza or something like that, or Jim and Nick's barbecue. Fridays was wings and something like that, or something different, right? But it was like 3 things, and they would do it every single week. But it was like, bro, like this ain't preparing. Like if we horses, right? Like I'm from Baltimore. We got the Preakness. If I got me $1 million horse thoroughbred on that joint, they ain't eating church's chicken the night before the game. You know what I'm saying? Now, everybody is different. Some people can do that. And even me, I indulge at certain times in season and stuff. But I was just like this isn't setting the right standard for us to be successful on Sundays. And it proved that on the field, right? Fast forward, I think you also asked what's like the hardest person I went up against, or you asked the best experience?
Well, I said your best and your worst, and then who the hardest person you went up against?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, your boy get long-winded. Best experience, man, I ain't gonna lie, being a Patriot.
Wow.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So New York Jets, we didn't win a lot, but that was an amazing experience because I went there. I had like a career year, and my family was there. You know, we already had a house in Jersey, so we obviously we were there. My wife is from Jersey, Taylor's from Jersey, so we were able to. Her family would come to the game. I got videos of us on the field after the game with no one else in the stadium.
Wow.
And literally just the lights on and just us. They went and saw the locker room, you know, my niece and nephew, Cameron and Kylie coming around, and literally us on the field just running by ourselves. Can't put a price on that type of thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's an amazing experience. And then also being able to take advantage of the New York market. I was broadcasting that year a little bit and things like that. Like that was just different for, you know, my brain. Being a Patriot though, it's like being you know, with part of SEAL Team 6 almost, right? Like not you know, again, I said earlier, I ain't afraid to be canceled, but you know, I always like to make sure I communicate myself correctly, right? Not comparing what we do to what those men and women do, right?
Yeah,
but if somebody tells you like, yo, I'm in SEAL Team 6 or I'm a Marine, right? Like you know they real. Yeah. Like you ain't questioning like, all right.
It's a different quality of their training. You know them motherfuckers top notch.
Exactly. Like whenever I told somebody, yeah, I'm with the Patriots, it was like it was like, oh, like you don't question my skill set because you know Bill Belichick won't even let you in the building if you ain't real, right? Yeah. You might not last long there, but you don't even get to step foot in Foxborough as a New England Patriot unless you ain't a dog, you know? And so I think that's one of the things that was, I've just felt that was different about it. And unfortunately, it was the pandemic season. It was the beginning of that because who knows? I mean, you go to that market, you got those types of fans there because there's still New England Patriot fans who reach out to me in my DMs today, and I played 8 games with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, who knows what it, you know, what it could do to you if you're, you know, active player and balling, and they got the fans there at the stadium signing autographs, you're enjoying, you know, you're doing the things that we would do anyway. So that's been one of the greatest experiences. The hardest person to go up against. Man, obviously, you know what? This dude, Trent Brown. So Trent Brown, bro.
I know a little bit about football. Who the hell is Trent Brown?
Trent Brown is 6'8".
Jesus.
360 pounds. Probably about 400. I might give him 400. 385. You step off the line of scrimmage, Trent can touch you. He.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I said that. Look. You step off the line of scrimmage, Trent can touch you. Right? Like that's the type of
so he's
reach
an offensive lineman
that he has. Offensive lineman, offensive tackle,
don't nobody
right?
know offensive lineman by name. Come on, Coach. We talking about who the hardest player you ever had to tackle or this, but let me go and get your Trent Brown story.
Look, I ain't worried about
then
that. I ain't worried about that.
Boy, Derrick
Nah,
Henry
bro, I ain't worried about
boy.
tackling nobody or nothing like that, man. I ain't worried about tackling. Tackling is easy. You tripping. See, the thing about football, bro, and I'm not even going to answer your question. We can get in that another time, but you know, we got bills to pay, and time is ticking, so to speak. But I'll give you this though. My grandfather, he's the one who taught me the mindset it takes to play football. So any kid that wants to be real, that wants to be real on the field, just think of it like this. My granddad used to cut open. He used to rip up boxes and like if it was a bottle and cardboard, he would squish it together just to have as much room as possible in the trash can.
I get that.
One day I was literally like 12 years old. He's sitting there ripping up the newspaper or cereal boxes and stuff like that. And he's like, Cope. And I'm sitting on the couch looking at some bullshit. And he's like, Cope. I'm like, yeah, granddad. you want to know why I was good at football? Why? He was like, I looked at it and I thought of it like this trash can. He was like, you take me and you put another player in the trash can and you say only one of you can come out.
Mm-hmm.
Best believe I'm coming out of that trash can. And that's how I thought of football. You can put the guy in front of me can be all world, all tackle, first team all. They could call him Olympus for all I care, right? It's only me or you coming out of the trash can. I got to come out of the trash can. And so literally as a 12-year-old, and he looked at me so serious with it, right? Like as a 12-year-old, that's literally how I've thought about football. Like,
look, I ain't saying
Derrick Henry, come on.
I'm not saying
My mama watching.
you as a professional football
Hella
player
watching.
of 10 years, you ever scared to go up against somebody. But I will, if I talk
No,
to an
ain't
all-pro
nobody.
corner or all-pro safety, and I say, who's the more difficult person to say? Oh, they be like, look, man, I'll lock them down, but it's always a dogfight when I'm playing XYZ receiver, whether it's Devontae Adams. So you as a linebacker, not saying you scared to tackle Derrick Henry, but is it the shifty running backs? Is it the guys coming out the slant? I know you ain't scared.
That's a better
dog.
question. Now that's a better question. That's a better question. But
Who's
running me
the
over,
more
that's a different
difficult type
now,
of cover
the
you have to have, dog?
So the
You not
most
finna
difficult
bullshit me
players
here.
are the
Is it Alvin Kamara?
the most difficult players are the shifties.
Yes.
The Alvin Kamaras, the James Whites of the world, and it's not about tackling them though. It's more of it's
The
either
angle.
tackling them in space.
Oh.
Like if you in space, like there was a tackle on Alvin Kamara this year. He got me. I tackled him out of bounds, but if he had a few more yards, he would have probably been able to tiptoe and keep going, right? Because he got me in space. He started right? Odell Beckham in space, ooh, that's different, right? But a lot of times as linebackers, we're able to kind of catch you in a box where it's like it's me and you can't go nowhere, or you got to run away from me and I got you. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
But no, to answer your question, in space is a beast, bro. But yeah, man, we gonna have to table this, man. We're gonna have to come back to this.
We
but
can talk
this
for hours on this,
This
but
is
yeah.
fun.
But yeah,
Hell yeah.
take us
man.
on out,
Money
man.
music culture, bro.
You had some good gems though. Your mindset applies to life, and that applies to the everyday person working their normal career, right? When you said what helped you, right, ensure that you made that team, it was, you know what? Let me just take a step back and do what I know is best. Right, I've been watching this. I've been reading this motherfucker's playbook for 2 days. I ain't no natural linebacker. I've never played the position in life. But one thing I do know is football. So I think at the end of the day, when adversity strikes, you are who you are, and you got to dig in deep and that overcome certain obstacles. And I'm happy to know that was a defining moment in your career, knowing, look, we cutting this team down, and guess what? You one of the last 2, 3 to get cut, but you getting cut, my boy. You better show us something tomorrow. And you fucking showed out, and I'm glad to say, you know, that was it. I remember actually coming to one of them preseason games. You did?
Yep.
You had me in the player section. I was looking like, who was Shorty? I'm like, oh, yeah, there's somebody
Washington?
white. There's somebody white.
Yeah.
I went with Cope. With me, Jay, Anwalu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Detroit? That was Detroit. I remember.
No,
that.
preseason game when I lived in New York. I came down to Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
In
That
2013.
That was the third one. I think that
it was a preseason game. Is all I'm saying. I remember
remember
coming to that. I remember that.
That's because you my dog, bro.
My brother.
Well, hey, man.
Take us out.
Nothing else needs to be said, man. Money, music, culture, it's a mindset. It's more than just money. It's more than just your dollars. It's a mindset. And we're going to keep tapping in that mindset because guess what? When you open up your mind, the rest will fall into place if you're willing to put the work into it. So, money, music, culture, man. Ross Mack, I appreciate you as always. We will see y'all next time.
You better know it. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your auntie, tell that nosy ass neighbor. You feel me? To also subscribe and get in tune with money, music, culture. Let's get it.